All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected. How y'all doing? I am assuming that you can hear me okay. Thanks for hanging out today. um, Thanks for hanging out with me every day on the interwebs. We are live on YouTube, Callin, and on Rockfin. It's going to be kind of a short show today, guys. Even shorter than yesterday. I have a whole bunch of stuff to do. So I apologize in advance for trying to excuse me, for trying to get out of here a little bit earlier. I have a show tonight and I've got so much stuff to do. It's also incredibly hot today. The morning started out super warm. Like super warm, and it's just getting hotter, and it's only noon, and so I may not even be able to last in here anyways. All right. Real quick, before I get into it, the best possible way to support the show, or a few of the best possible ways, the most direct ways, paypal.me/Kevin Sandbloom, Venmo at Kevin Sandbloom, Cash App at Red Llama Music, buymeacoffee.com/Black Bear News. And thank you, everyone who supports the show. I actually did get an after-hours tip on Rockfin from Stop Having Kids, requesting me to read an article. I don't know if I'm going to get to the article today, but I will. There's an article about veganism in The Guardian, and I will search that out and well, I want to read the message because somebody tips me and they leave a message. I think it's only proper. Hey, Kevin, thank you for your dedication to the truth, critical thinking, not backing down due to having unpopular opinions, and your overall integrity. Well, thank you. Can you please read and discuss this new article covered by The Guardian soon? It's called Vegan Diet Massively Cuts Environmental Damage, Study Shows, and shows that a plant-based diet is what is best for humans, non-humans, and the planet. So that's the comment. I will check out that article or get to that article. I think it's I don't know. There's a lot of opinions about meat, not eating meat, veganism. I'm vegetarian. And I believe in a non-meat diet or a low meat diet. I don't think that we need to eat as much meat as we do. I'm not a meat eater. I'm not necessarily into like the meat eating culture. Then again, I'm not going to shame people for eating meat. I personally just feel better. Excuse me. I feel better being a vegetarian. I feel better not eating meat. I think it's all around better for people's health. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying like you're a dooftard if you eat meat. I'm just saying it's just it's generally a better lifestyle. You're going to eat healthier, so you're just going to eat healthier if you don't eat meat or eat very little meat. I know I've known all kinds of friends who have all kinds of different opinions on vegetarianism, veganism. It's hard for I can't just like come down on one. I've been vegetarian for like 15 years, longer than that, almost 20 years. And I have been vegan occasionally, off and on. It's very difficult for me to be vegan all the way vegan. But I eat very little. You know, I don't eat meat, and I eat very few like dairy products. But as little as I can. What was I going to say? Anyways, I once had a friend who was a Buddhist doctor who was for all intents and purposes, a vegan. But he actually was of the opinion that you should eat meat once in a while too, because it had an effect on your adrenal. If you lived in a very stressful environment or in a big city, the stress would deplete your adrenal glands. This was his theory. He was like, every once in a while, I have a really nice steak just to give myself my adrenal glands a boost. But he generally was just vegan all the time. Jesus. Also had another friend who was basically vegan, but was concerned about being in a situation where, actually was concerned about collapse. So this friend was basically a vegan, but they didn't want to be in a position where they were going to get sick if they were, if they were in a position where they were forced to eat meat. So they kept their bodies, every once a month or every couple months, she would have a hamburger or something just to keep her body in practice of digesting meat. Because if you maybe, if you, if collapse happens, or if you're in a situation where you're just scrambling for food, your choices may be all kinds of stuff, and you don't want to be puking up everything that you eat because you're not used to it. That's another theory. That's not my theory. I don't eat meat. I'm just giving you other people's, their theories on it, their concepts on it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not telling you those are my concepts or theories. I haven't had a hamburger since like 2005, 4 or 5, somewhere around there. It's been a long time. And I don't eat meat. So there you go. I do eat fish occasionally, very occasionally I eat some fish, but I don't eat chicken, beef, pork, anything like that. And fish is fish is really hard to eat because it's just the state of fishing and fisheries is so bad. uh, anyways, yeah, they're eventually gonna. Is anybody freaking out on the fact that Twitter is now called X? I was like, what is this X junk? Anyways, whatever. Do you think X will kill Twitter? Or do you think it'll be better? Or do you think it'll be, I don't know. Just to finish up what I was saying, I do support vegans and vegan lifestyle in all ways, and I do suggest that people try to definitely get more plant-based if they can. That is all. Let's see. All right, so it's so ridiculous because it's fun. What's funny too is that half of my tabs say X and the other half say Twitter. What side am I on? I don't know. Am I on X or am I on Twitter? Anyways, well, this is from Steve Austin retweeting cat turd. And this seems to be a popular opinion on, pretty much everywhere. And I don't know why this is a popular opinion, because it's just so blatantly stupid and moronic. Because if you're freaking alive, if you are breathing, you have to notice that something is going wrong with the planet. You have to notice that they're like, what the hell is going on? There's like all these floods, there's all these heat waves, there's all this stuff going on, and man, I just don't want to believe it. I just don't want to believe it so hard that I'm just gonna act like nothing's happening. I mean, you gotta be like intentionally just ridiculously out of touch to not think that something is very different with the planet. Anyways, but I thought this was humorous because Steve Austin says, "I know it's early, but this is the dumbest fucking thing I'll read today." And this is, I see this every single day. They've been predicting climate change for 30 years. What is happening? I mean, are you? Are you alive? It doesn't take long to notice that something is wrong. It doesn't take long to understand that there's rising sea levels, the ice is melting, we have record-breaking temperatures all over the planet. We have record-breaking. I'm just gonna show you clip after clip after clip of extreme floods and extreme weather, just to let you know that there's no climate change. Okay. Oh yes, cold kills more people than heat. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's also another good dumb one. Uh, anyways, if you don't fancy a holiday in Rhodes, have you thought of Switzerland? This is a insane storm going on in Switzerland. This is all over Europe. Just let this play. This is nuts. This is July. This is July. We literally have something akin to, land-based hurricanes going on at any given moment, right? All day long on the planet. The Greek government declared that the Rhodes evacuation due to out-of-control wildfires is the largest in the country's history. And we've just been seeing, how can you even make those posts on Twitter? If you're on Twitter, you have to be seeing these things all day long. I mean, I'm all day long. I'm seeing like crazy, just flood footage from everywhere. Like you must live in some kind of, beautiful Twitter bubble if you don't see any of these things going on. Just some more normal summer weather in northern Italy this afternoon. Yeah, this is it's summer. Summer? What? This is summer? Yeah, it's hot. Wait. Oh, it's what? What? I get it. I get it. I get that people. I get that you don't want to deal with it. I get that you don't want to think about it. I get that you don't want to take it in as a reality. I get it. I get that's why people are so into this, into not understanding what's going on. Heavy rainfall from July 21 to 23. Heavy rainfall occurred in the Fuyang mountain area of Hangzhou, Zhejiang. I'm sure I'm murdering these. The rainfall exceeded 110 millimeters in 1 hour and 300 millimeters in 24 hours. 5 people were killed and 3 people were missing. Oh, it's just weather, This happens all the time. I don't know. Does it happen all over the planet all the time? Is that what happens all the time? Are you sure about that? Oh, it's record-breaking heat in Europe and Mexico and all over the Middle East and China. Yeah, it's totally normal. It happens all the time. No, it doesn't. But let me whip out my old almanac of temperatures and prove that you're wrong. Okay. Let me whip out this cherry-picked graph that shows you, from NASA that they keep recycling like the same graph. It's so hilarious because they keep showing like, oh, see, it's not. There's no what. And the funny thing is the graph actually shows that we're warming. The graph shows we're warming. They're trying to use a graph that shows that we're warming to say like, nah, we're not warming. That's how dumb deniers are. Or skeptics, or whatever you want to call them. I hate to say, Just get it together, man. I'm sure it's probably not a nice thing to call somebody dumb, but you got to be some kind of dumb to not actually see everything that's going on and just go, nope, that's not it. And I went to the HAARP was trending. HAARP was trending. Hey, Lance, buddy, thank you for calling in, but I don't know if I'm going to take any calls today. I'm going to do a shorter show, and I'm going to just try and get through a couple of news stories because I got to get out of here kind of soon. But I appreciate you calling in, man. Massive hail flow at Street in Desio of Milan, Italy. Hail. Totally summer. This is just totally summer. Yeah, I went and checked out like the HAARP trending on Twitter, and it was like the same 3 videos. Actually, it was mostly one video. It was a couple of videos that explain how HAARP works, which is very interesting. I mean, I'm interested in HAARP. I'm sure that somewhere on the planet that somebody's manipulating the weather. I'm absolutely positive of it. There's no doubt in my mind that weather is being manipulated somewhere, somehow, some way. But you got to come with a couple more, it's like, it's like the people that keep posting the same video of the weather guy on CNN from like 20 years ago. Totally blows the case off of climate change. Like, dude, you showed that video last year. No, it doesn't blow the lid off of climate change. You didn't like, he gave up the game. Oh, okay. No, he didn't. He is a stooge. They knew he was coming on. They knew what he was going to say. They had him come on purpose. They want you to be confused about climate change. They want you to be skeptical. They want you to think like, it's fine. It's fine. There's no climate change. I think I'm going to go fill up my Hummer. For about $130, I'm going to go fill up the tank in my Hummer and go drive across country and just buy a bunch of things at roadside truck stops all day long because that's what I love to do. And they're like, yeah, keep it going. That's why that dude was on there. If I have to, spell it out for you. Let's see. Again, I don't doubt that somewhere on the planet the weather is being manipulated. I'm sure on some levels it is. But no, who wants this level of manipulation? Not a lot of people. Who can control this level of manipulation? I don't, I just having a hard time believing it. All over the world, massive extreme flooding and heat waves, and if it's a plan, it's a dumb plan. It's not a good plan. We're gonna screw up the weather so badly that we can't grow food on the planet. How's that for a plan? Oh yeah, they've been planning this for years. That was Rockefeller funded. Again, I believe that the Rockefellers are behind a lot of not very good things, but it'd be kind of dumb to fund like destroying the planet to the point where we can't grow food. That was their plan all along. It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Because at that point you can't control a lot of things. Or maybe it's perfectly in line with how the elites think, because they are so dumb that they think that they can avoid unintended consequences of their plans. I don't know. Who knows? Or maybe it's this. Just suppose some scientists said 30, 40, 50 years ago, guys, if we keep on doing this stuff, we're going to wreck the planet. And everybody's like, no, that's stupid. Rush Limbaugh's like, no, that's communist. No, the scientists are in the pocket of I don't know. Who are they in the pocket of? Some people. No, they're in the pocket of the communists. They've been predicting climate change for 30 years, and there's no climate change at all. Right? 30, 40, 50 years of predictions, and here it is. And we finally get here, and you guys are like, no, see, I don't see any climate change. I don't see it. Yeah, totally. Maybe this is the result of exactly the things that people were talking about for 30, 40, 50 years. Hey, guys, if we keep doing this, hey, guys, if we keep doing this, we're going to wreck the planet. Okay, oh, the planet's like, oh, I'm wrecked. I'm going to wreck you. Oh, hey. Here it is. We told you it was happening. We told you it was coming. Here it is. Like, that's not a conspiracy. That's called a prediction. That's called a prediction coming true. That's not very hard to figure out. Yeah. Here we go. Biblical proportion: 3 months worth of rain falls in Nova Scotia. Jesus. Can somebody tell me what exactly is controlling all of this rainfall? Must be HAARP. Or maybe it's a warmer planet holds more water vapor in the atmosphere, which is also a greenhouse gas, which also helps to heat the planet more quickly. A warmer planet has more water vapor in the atmosphere, producing more rainfall and stronger storms. Geez, maybe that's it. Biblical proportion: 3 months of rainfall, floods Nova Scotia. Forcing evacuations as crews search for missing people. Yeah, climate change is a hoax until it washes away your home. It's all fun and games and conspiracy theories until climate change, takes your house away in a tornado. It's all fun and games and conspiracy theories until nobody has any food because climate change has wrecked the ability to grow crops at scale. Three months worth of rain over the course of one day has flooded the Canadian province of Nova Scotia since Friday night, inundating streets, forcing evacuations, and leaving at least 4 people missing, including 2 children. Province-wide state of emergency. Yeah, it's all fun and games until climate change sweeps away your children. What was it that there was a video that everybody was showing about Just Stop Oil was protesting, and they were like blocking the road, and this lady was like, I have a baby in the car, I'm trying to take her to the hospital. Now hold on 1 second. Sure, if I was Just Stop Oil, I would be like, if you got a baby in the car, why don't you just go ahead? But do they know that she had a baby in the car? Did she have the baby in her hands? She's like, I have a baby in my car. Maybe she's just like, hey, I got to get these guys moving somehow, and I'll make up the story. There was no confirmation of a baby. They were just saying, hey, man, she's got a baby. We got to get out of here. And the guy, they just kept on walking. I don't know. But then somebody was like, hey, we have a law in Florida where we get to run over protesters that we don't like in Florida. The law allows us. I was like, man, you guys are... Yeah. So I don't know. I don't necessarily believe in blocking roads so babies can't get through or something. Babies can't get through to the hospital and stuff. But it really sucks when climate change does actually whisk away your home and carries your babies along there too. That's also not good. So I don't know. Are you going to protest that part? Climate change just took my babies away. I'm gonna go run over that cloud in my truck because they're took my babies away. I'm going to. What are you going to do? I don't know. Anyways, a province-wide state of emergency has been declared, including for the Halifax Regional Municipality, as well as the nearby East Hants, West Hants, Lunenburg, and Queens. We have had biblical proportions of rain over the night and into the day. Sunday, Canadian police said they were continuing to search for 2 children, a youth and a man, who had gone missing after the vehicles they were traveling in were submerged in 2 separate incidents early Saturday. I don't know. Who are you going to run over? You mad about that? Who are you going to run over for that one? Oh, it's just the weather. What are we talking about? Weather? We're just talking about weather. It's just weather. It's, kids missing. It's just weather. Hey, Lance, man, I'm not going to take any calls today. I'm sorry, buddy. Thank you for calling in, though. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just am trying to get through a couple of stories today, and I'm trying to sign off pretty soon. And I can't, anyways. What's up, Rockfinners? Rockfinauts, how you doing? I see you hanging out on Rockfin. Thanks for chilling on Rockfin with me. Hold on. Alrighty. Okay. Let's see, where are we at? Where are we at? So y'all hear about Henry Kissinger doing an emergency trip to China? And this is something to think about. This is like kind of tied in with some economic news. Uh, 100-year-old Henry Kissinger went to China for what reason? It's not about U.S. debt, not about the trade war, not even about Taiwan. In this thread, we find out what Kissinger and Xi discussed behind closed doors, something that will affect us all. So let's read this thread. It's an interesting thread. We'll try not to read the comments. Hey, where is the thread? Dang it. Hold on one second, guys. Oh, dang it. Why can't I see this? Sorry, guys. This was a whole thread. Where'd the thread go? I'm just seeing a lot of comments, which I don't really want to read because comments dumb a lot of the times. Here we go. Anyways, the biggest threat to the world is not China, but 31.5 trillion U.S. debt. U.S. bond prices will crash inevitably and nuke many countries' economies. Hundreds of millions of jobs and trillions of dollars in pensions will disappear. Why wouldn't Kissinger ask China to help? When Xi Jinping started his first term, he was advised that the Chinese economy couldn't withstand the U.S. bonds crash. China's deleveraging campaign was launched in 2013. It sent the two largest real estate developers to bankruptcy in 2021. Did Xi make a deadly mistake? During my first visit in 2018, everyone in China was in a state of euphoria. Businesses borrowing like crazy to expand. Housing prices were sky high. Jack Ma was further expanding his empire by giving young Chinese free loans. It was a disaster waiting to happen. By popping its own financial and real estate bubbles in a controlled manner, the Chinese government diffused an economic time bomb. But Western experts say Xi is driving China into the brink of collapse. Right? I went condo shopping last week. My agent told me that yes, local governments had to step in and fund most unfinished building projects, and things weren't great for the last 3 years. But she's busy again. Home buyers are taking advantage of lower housing prices. Let's go back to Kissinger. Where's the rest of this? Oh, we'll just go to the thread reader because I don't want to read the rest of the. La-di-da-di-da. China has spent the past decade insulating itself from the inevitable U.S. bonds crash. It won't be as enthusiastic about saving the U.S. as in 2008. The U.S. economy is near its end. The only exit is war. Kissinger traveled to Beijing to discuss the possibility of war. Because it would be good for business, you know what I'm saying? Kissinger's trip to Beijing has only one purpose: to discuss how to minimize damage when, not if, a war breaks out between China and the U.S. I hate being so doom and gloom, but here is a Chinese phrase: whenever danger lurks, opportunity awaits. And there you go. It's an interesting thread, I thought. I don't know about y'all. And last, it is getting very warm in here, guys, because everything is slowing down, like to a crawl. Let's see. Creative Experiments says short-term bonds will fall after the Fed rate hikes this week. Is it this week? Oh no. Dear Lord, no. I guess it's happening though, right? Here we go. And lastly, I'll leave you with this. RFK Jr. discusses the federal government pressuring social media companies to censor Americans. We'll listen to this, but I have heard a few left-leaning channels have invited RFK Jr. to speak, and he's been mostly entertaining more. I don't know. He's been on all kinds of media, but he seems to be favoring more right-wing channels, and that's what some people are saying. I don't know. Anyways, this clip is from Fox News. Oh. Hold on. This is 8 minutes long. We're not going to play the whole thing.
The alarming thing that's come out in Judge Doty's decision. This is a federal district judge just issued a 155-page decision forbidding the White House from having any contact with social media companies because it abused those contacts so badly over the past 3 years. What we now know is that the White House had deployed an army of federal agencies, including the CIA, the FBI, the DHS, Department of Homeland Security, the IRS, and many others, to threaten Facebook, Google, and Twitter with withdrawing their Section 230 immunity, which is an existential threat. Those companies cannot exist without that immunity, and they were told that if they did not censor the president's opponents, critics of these policies, that they would lose that immunity.
Unbelievable. Well, I mean, there is this network in place. I mean, Trump calls it the swamp. Others call it, just this network of establishment that is hard to get around. I've seen your comments about the CIA and the assassination of your uncle and father, that they were involved. How do you get and break this enormous network?
Well, you have to do it agency by agency, because the fulcrum of the corruption of this corrupt merger of state and corporate power is happening within the agencies, and each of those agencies have different issues of the agency that have promoted and prompted the capture of those agencies by the industries they're supposed to regulate. With the intelligence agencies, in many of them, although not all of them, are now serving the purpose of enriching the military-industrial complex and expanding its power for some military contractors. My uncle recognized this, that the function of the CIA had devolved into providing the military-industrial complex with a constant pipeline of new wars in order to enrich military contractors and expand the power of the intelligence apparatus.
Unbelievable. Look, you have...
Okay. I'm going to just read a little of this post. Sorry. Jesus. He's saying these companies cannot exist without that immunity that they were told that if they did not censor the president's opponents and critics of these policies, they would lose that immunity. With the intelligence agencies, many of them, although not all of them, are now serving the purpose of enriching the military-industrial complex and expanding its power. For some military contractors, my uncle recognized that the function of the CIA had devolved into providing the military-industrial complex with a constant pipeline of new wars in order to enrich military contractors and expand the power of the intelligence. Doesn't it seem like that's kind of true? My primary platform is unveiling the war machine, unraveling the war machine in the national security state that is bankrupting and destroying the middle class in our country. The ultimate objective is to protect democracy and restore the American middle class. That's great. That's awesome if that's his objective. Those are some large powers to stand up against. 57% of our country's men and women cannot put their hand on $1,000 if they have an emergency. This is not the America I grew up in. The America I grew up in had a robust middle class that was the economic generator for our country and for democracy. They have been trampled by these war and bailout policies and all of these things that many of the leadership of the Democratic Party now represent. My objective is to restore the moral authority of this country and our moral standing in the world, and our leadership in the world. And it begins with the American middle class at home, and to recapture our government for the American people, and to take it away from this corrupt merger of state corporate power. Great. I'm fully behind that. I think a lot of people are behind that. I think a lot of people wanted that with Bernie Sanders and or Trump. Even they thought maybe Trump would do that. Is this more lovely, rose smelling like roses promises, or is this even possible to bring about? I don't know. I mean, it's going to have to happen soon because, yes, John Glad, someone just predicted the collapse of the U.S. in 6 to 12 months. Well, I mean, people are predicting collapse all over the place for multiple reasons. Economic, and I can think of two: economic and climate collapse are the biggest reasons why we might see an ultimate undoing of, normalcy as we know it. Some people, look forward to this with glee. Some people are like, I can't wait. Some people have their popcorn out. Some people are like toasting marshmallows, on a trash can fire, waiting for the collapse. Cool. I personally am not looking forward to that, but I also am not delusional enough to think that it can't happen. Just like climate collapse. I don't want the climate to collapse. I don't want the earth to be, I don't necessarily, look forward to the day when, climate is so screwed up that people can't, people are running for their lives. I don't want that at all. Not at all. But I'm also not delusional enough to think that that can't happen. Because it doesn't matter what I want. And that's where I think a lot of people are at. To go all the way back to, and same with economic collapse. I mean, lots of people love how we live. Lots of people love how they live. They love having money. They love spending money. They love our industrial civilization as it is. On some levels, I do too. On some levels, it's very comfortable. But that I'm also, again, not delusional enough to think that it can't collapse or it won't collapse or, get out of here. That's too much. That's a lot. You're saying a lot there. It's not, I know just wishing the scary monsters away into the cornfield is a way that it's actually true. A lot of people operate that way. No way. That's not, sure, but that's not in reality. It doesn't matter what you wish for or you think for or it's kind of not really in reality. If you're looking at the writing on the wall, if you're looking at how things are progressing, and maybe we're all wrong. Maybe all the doom predictors are all wrong, and hopefully they are. Maybe we just bump along and things go this way and then things go that way, and in a couple of years we'll be like, "Huh, that was weird." I just, I kind of doubt it. Anyways, all right, guys, that does it for me. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. I will be back. Let's see. Tomorrow might be weird. I'm gonna try and be back tomorrow at 12 p.m. But I don't know. There might be something that's putting a hiccup in my day tomorrow. So I should be here at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight as usual. There's a chance that I may not. If not, I will see you the next day. Okay. All right, guys. Until next time, peace.